Spoiler warning. If you haven't yet watched Squid Games, then make sure you click away from this podcast because we are going to be talking about spoilers.
This is Eloquent Podcasts,
A place for film lovers and aspiring filmmakers.
with your hosts,
Elliot.
and Luke. 3, 2, 1, boom, and we're live. Yeah, hello Elliot, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, Luke. What's going on?
No, it's good. Right, Squid Games.
Squid Games.
What an absolute show. I absolutely loved it. It's really cool. What was your favourite moments from it, Elliot?
I mean, before I say my favourite moment, I think it's mad what's happening with Squid Games at the moment. The fact that it's blown up. It's blowing up. It's all over the internet, and it's cool to see. Very cool.
Yeah, I was thinking about this today. It kind of hit a nerve because, I mean, obviously it's a Korean movie, and the Korean company who built Fortnite is sort of like it's a battle royale, obviously, and then obviously that I think that was sort of a reflection of what people want. And obviously you've got films like The Hunger Games and all that, but I mean Fortnite, we've been waiting for almost a good series battle royale.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's sort of a reflection of like the Korean culture. That's what I've sort of picked up on when I was watching it.
I mean, there is, I don't know if it's Korean. I mean, it must be. That would make sense. But there's actually a movie which is called Battle Royale, which is where that whole concept began. It's a very old movie, and that's what even inspired Hunger Games and probably games like Fortnite. So I don't know if that's something to do with it.
Yeah, I guess I was making the point of where we've been waiting for almost a series to hit a nerve, just as Squid Games has hit a nerve in our culture, you know?
100%. And I think Squid Games is different to any battle royale series like Hunger Games or even the old movie because of the fact it brings in the whole element of children's games in the arena, you know. That's
yeah,
what
no,
they're
definitely.
playing.
But I mean, it was good. Do you know what I mean? It was like they dealt with it how it's almost like a child's game can be dangerous. You know what I mean? So that was the intriguing thing to me because we've all been, you know, at one point we've all been kids and we play these silly games like it or whatever, and do you know what I mean? It's just that like
it's an interesting contrast.
It's that one step of being shot that makes it a crazy game to be in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, I thoroughly enjoyed the series, and I'm excited to see what the next Korean filmmakers do because they're doing some good things. I mean,
no, definitely. They've even left it on a bit of a cliffhanger, haven't they? Like where he's sort of waiting at the airport and he goes back to take revenge, and he's like they've set up for a next series, and I'm actually really excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, they've definitely prepared for some more stuff to come, which is going to be super exciting. So I've got a question to ask you actually, Luke.
Shoot, go for it.
My question is, do you think you would survive in the Squid Games?
No way. I don't know. I think I'm a bit of a quitter if I'm being honest with you. I'd look around and be like, there's 456 people here. There's no way I'm winning that. And I've got a gambling issue in this universe. Do you know what I mean? And I've got a gambling issue in this universe. Well, I mean, that's a really interesting point though. Before we move on to the point I was going to make, what do you think you'd survive?
I don't know. I mean, I would definitely play on because if I'm putting myself in one of the characters' mindsets, I have no money. I need to get money, and I probably have people I owe debts, and it's probably family in that context. So
yeah, they really played on that. I mean, like they had desperate poor people, and they had the choice to stay in the game or leave the game, even though they've just seen the horrific acts of, you know, like people being shot and people dying. They've already seen the horrific acts, but then as soon as they've seen the money, it's so money like driven, like they'd rather die than You know what I mean? Do you get what?
In
you
a
get
way,
what I'm
it's
sort
kind of
saying?
like they strip away their humanity because they at first people like when they're first brought into the games that they don't know it's deadly until the first red light green light game.
Yeah,
And then
I guess. I mean, that's another question for you. Do you think? I was even thinking about it. They said when the light's green, don't move, and when the light's red, don't like. Yeah, when the light's green, you can move. When the light's red, you can't move. And they had loads of people who started panicking and running for the door, and it all died. And then you had a certain amount of people who actually used their brain and said,
that was ridiculous.
"Don't move."
That was.
Do you know what I mean? I was sitting there like, "Are you not watching?" I mean, obviously, you get in that mind where you're panicking. You think, "Oh, I've got to move. I've got to move." But I mean, I think in my brain, if I was to put myself in the position where would I move or would I not move, I don't think I'd move.
I think I'd freeze in that moment, like just out of instinct. I would just be like, because it's the game as well. I mean, well, to be fair, I'm not one of the characters. There's no way I could have predicted it if I was actually there.
I guess when you put yourself in them positions, you never know what you'd actually do until you're actually in them positions.
You could be really unlucky though, because it is literally any movement that they sense. So you could be one of those unlucky. But to be fair, loads of them just, like you said, ran back. Like I don't know why where were they trying to go? There was no. They were locked in.
I don't know. I guess it's almost like the humanity of it. Like, oh, let me out, thinking they'd actually let them out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if we go from the very start, we obviously had that person almost recruiting people, and to see how much their values lie. Like he was slapping him in the very beginning, and when he was slapping him, he let him play on. So it's almost like, would you sacrifice being hurt for money? And I think that's
funny
almost
that
like
it's kind of like
recruiting process.
It's kind of like that slap in the face is like a metaphor for, oh, you're literally being slapped in the face.
No, seriously, that's what I was sort of alluding to when I was watching it. And as the story progressed, you get to know these characters, and they're almost archetypal characters. You know, you got the hard guy in this journey. You've got the girl who's does everything for like almost sex, like gets moves on for sex. You got like the I don't know what the word to use, but a person who uses, do you know what I mean? Like what's that word? Mysterious. Whatever the word is.
Whore.
She's yeah. All right, and a whore. All right, a whore. It's out there now.
That's it. You got to be real out here. Got to be real.
Promiscuous. She's a promiscuous girl.
Yeah.
Promiscuous girl. And then obviously you had
That's better.
the old man archetype, and then you had the hero archetype. There's a lot of archetypes. Like, if you was to put yourself in anyone's shoes, who would you put in your shoes? Obviously, like a reflection of self. Do you think you'd be the tough guy? Would you run with the tough gang? Would you run with the... Do you get what I'm saying? You almost put yourself in the position of the characters.
Yeah, definitely. And I think most of us probably relate to the protagonist being just, he's not like perfect, but
people.
he's rational
people.
Yeah.
Rational people. And I mean, obviously you get all different types of people out here. No, definitely. Like, how did you? I mean, obviously from the very start. From the very start, what was your first impressions of it?
Of the games, I mean, I don't know. I was very intrigued. The main thing I was intrigued about visually was the look of the games and just the general look of like the production design in the show. It's very colourful and it's very. Yeah, it's out there. It's out there, and it's different, and that's just what stood out to me mainly. But then I think that goes with the world they've created. Even the bodyguards and stuff, they've got that interesting like red uniform and those strange masks.
There's almost like that military grade, wasn't it? It was like it was like the square people was. I'm trying to remember now. Was the circle people on top or the square people? I
think the square people were the commanders, and then
the square people were the commanders, and then you had the triangle were like the sergeants, and then obviously the circle were like recruits.
Yeah,
and then you also there was almost like a military structure to everything, and I like the way this story plays around where you sort of explore everything about every level, you know, from the contestants to like the foot soldiers to the people who made the games, you know, that you explore the whole entire like game, the process, everything about it. Yeah, I that's stuff that I got from.
What was your favourite game in the series, Luke?
Do you know what? My favourite game has to be, I think it's Red Light, Green Light, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, because I felt that one, I mean, that and Tug of War, like, that actually had, like, reflections of my own childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? Where you had, like, the marble game. I didn't enjoy the marble game because it wasn't thrilling enough. It was almost like, oh, they can play any game they want, and whoever gets more marbles wins without violence. And I mean, there's a million things you can do there, rather than when you had games like Red Light, Green Light, Tug of War, very straightforward games, childhood games, that they almost set up like this arena to fight on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, for me personally, I really did enjoy the Marble episode. Not so much because of the game, because I don't think that was so much about the game. It was more about, there were so many things going on, right? We had betrayal, and they set it up so beautifully as well, because, you know, they go in, the episode is called Ganbu or something, isn't it? They the old man and our protagonist, they're like laughing and joking about with each other. There's a lot of like
I definitely get what you're saying. I just felt they could have done a better game that would symbolise that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like betrayal. I just felt they maybe searched other games that maybe would have showed. Like you had that game, that honeycomb game. I just didn't feel like it was dangerous. You know what I mean? I've never done the honeycomb thing, so maybe I'm just being ignorant about how hard it is.
I hear that, but at the same time, like the marble game, I feel like that opened more doors as because, you know, with how he was able to switch the marbles with the stones. The what's his name, the lawyer, the kind of psychopath who he turns out to be. He betrays the Ali, the Pakistani guy. You know, the marbles allowed him to do that. I definitely
hear what you're saying. Like the marble game had a very emotional attachment to it. Obviously, you've got the betrayal, and like you said, you've got all these different actions, how people play the games and how they deal with the games. I just wish it had more structure to it. Do you sort of get what I'm saying, rather than it being free to do whatever they want? Because I'm not being funny. If you was one of these people who are actually doing the games, what entertainment could you actually get from watching that, if you get what I'm saying? So it to me, it was the most emotionally connecting and the least enjoyable game, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I do hear what you're saying, actually. I do. I still think that was probably one of my favourite episodes in the series, but I definitely hear the point you're raising.
Yeah, and also, do you know that the glass one was really cool? I thought that was a really cool concept. Where with
the bridge.
The bridge was dope. The bridge was dope.
That was a deadly game.
Deadly game.
We wiped out pretty much everyone in there.
Yeah, if you're the first 9 or 10 people, you're just dead. Do you know what I mean? Even that bloke was like halfway through the bridge was like, what's the probability of me getting this right? It was like 36,000 to 1. And after that, I'd just been like, yeah, I ain't going across. I'd have been that hard guy. I'd be like, nah. Yeah, sod that. he just say sod it and then just jumped.
He just ran for it. He made a run. Yeah, that was a hard game. That one. That's the thing. That's where if we go back to the question earlier, whether I would survive, that does test it, because that's just unlucky at that point.
He also said luck as well, didn't he?
Yes.
He also said luck, and also the protagonist was like, "Do I be 1 or 16?"
Yeah.
And if it was just that guy was just like.
The guy asked him.
Yeah, you could be. Yeah, can I be 16, please?
He wanted to have some personal inner growth in himself, and he ended up dying.
That's what you get for being a hero, kids. Don't do it.
That's what you get for trying to improve yourself. That's what the message is.
That's what you get for noticing your own personal flaws.
It's funny though. On the bridge game itself, we have, and this is like a little theme I spotted. I don't know if you did, but it was obvious to me that the director or the writer of this series has something against Christianity, because the amount of digs they put throughout the series with that guy, like. I was like, this is funny. Like, even the way the Christian died, he was like praying, and then he just. It was funny to me because it's just hilarious how.
No, I get what you. I definitely get what you're saying, but I'd raise a different point to you. I'd say there's a difference between God being on your side and human actions. If you get what I'm saying, like you can pray to God to not be beaten up in an alleyway, but then you walk down alleyways 10 times and then you meet a group of boys. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, they put themselves in there. Like he chose to be in this competition, right? And now he's praying to God to help him make millions or 14 billion yang. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I hear that, and him as a character in the context of being a Christian, he's not really the best example of being a Christian anyway. But I think the point I'm raising is that it did seem very exaggerated, the amount of times they brought in that, like, those digs on Christians.
Right. I just had this thought now. Put yourself in the position of this character, right? You go to the competition because you need money, and you pray to God for money. Is he going to give it to you? No. Is God going to give you a better chance of winning this competition? No. Do you get what I'm saying from this? Like, he's almost putting himself to death. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he put himself in that position, and now he's praying to God to help him. Do you know?
No one in that show is the best example of human
and it's also a good point about God helps people who help themselves, and you being in that competition pretty much isn't helping yourself.
No. Yeah, I agree, and he's like I said, he's not really living out his life as a Christian anyway. But it's just, I just thought it was funny. That's all.
Yeah, you took it personally.
I didn't take it personally. But
no.
What was your biggest wow moment in the series?
Wow moment.
Yeah, what stood out to you?
No, it was. I mean, I know I trashed the marble game, but do you know when he betrayed the old man? When he betrayed him, my heart just dropped, and he was just like, "No, you go." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just it.
That was a sad moment.
It was like he's got like dementia, and I know you'd be desperate in that moment. I know you'd be desperate in that moment because he's having dementia and he's walking around like a crazy madman, and he's winning the marble game, and he's just like, I don't want to die. You know, he's got brain cancer. I don't want to die. Well, one way or another, I've got to almost betray him. I know it's a sad thing to say, but yeah, in that situation, I probably would betray him in the game.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't got much life left. He's an old man. What's he going to do with the prize money? You know, and it's a horrible thing to say because I think everyone loved that character. I mean, obviously you got the ending. Everyone loved that character.
And the dynamic as well with the protagonist.
Yeah, definitely. And then you almost felt sorry for the bloke.
Yeah.
He almost had a little bit of an advantage, you know what I mean? Like, in the tug of war game, he almost told them how to win, and they all followed him.
Yeah, know? But he set it up, didn't he? He was behind it all. So I mean, I was watching a video actually today with a little bit of foreshadowing about his involvement in the game, and if you look back at the episode with the tug and war when they're like laying on the floor and they've just won, as the camera's like moving down, it goes past him. If you look closely, his chains aren't actually like locked onto the rope, so he would have been fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it just shows like that was his escape plan. He was never actually in real danger. He was.
Oh no.
He was always safe. Yeah, it's mad. But I agree though with what you were saying about the marble game, and I think the storytelling there was just incredible. The way they, like I was saying, the way they built up they set it up, the marble game, like we have the protagonist and the old man. They're like kind of joking about together, a lot of like camaraderie, yeah, with each other, and calling each other gambus and stuff. And then instantly they find out they have to play each other in the marble game, and it just switches like that. And then you've got our protagonist instantly ready to just do whatever he has to do to survive, and he's switching on the old man.
I generally think the old man liked him as well.
He did?
I generally think, I generally think he did. I generally think the old man liked him, and he let him carry on playing, you know.
What did you think about the old man's involvement in it when you found that out?
I just think he almost said, I've got nothing to live for. And obviously, the ending, we can talk about the ending. There's probably going to be a spoiler warning at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
The old man's alive, obviously. He's the host.
Mm-hmm. What did you think? Like, when you, because I'll tell you what I thought after, but I'm interested to know when you found it out.
I think, obviously, like he said, he's got cancer, and he remembered a time as a child where he was young, and he enjoyed playing the games, and he enjoyed doing this. And I felt, he's right. And he also mentioned, I never forced anyone to do it. I always told people, you don't have to do it.
That's true.
You know?
They put themselves in that position.
I almost agreed with him a little bit, you know, agreed with his motives.
Yeah.
If it was like he never forced them. He never. He said everyone had a choice to leave. You didn't have a choice to come back. Obviously it was unfortunate that no one knew how dangerous it would be, and then you had the 200 people die almost immediately. But yeah, I thought it was. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good twist. It showed character, showed development, it showed a good reason for doing it. It almost gave the main character a release to almost enjoy that prize money. What do you think?
I was a little bit confused by his morals, because he likes to say, "Oh, no one." I didn't really know. Maybe it's the translation of it, because we're not getting the full experience with listening with subtitles or dubs as English people, but or English speakers. But yeah, I didn't really understand his morals exactly. He mentions the homeless man that's outside, and no one's going to help him, and he's like, "Oh, there's no hope for humanity anymore," and that's why. And it's like, I didn't know if that was the way he was justifying putting people in a ring. Kind of, it's quite sick if you think about it, because he's really,
The only people I feel sorry for is in red light, green light, the ones who ran, because they had no fucking clue as to how dangerous that would be.
Yeah,
that's the only people I feel sorry for. Everyone else, you made the choice.
No, everyone else made the choice, but what I'm saying is, you want to help people, you want to give them another chance of paying their debts back. Do you have to do it in that way? I get it's entertaining for the people that are funding it. He
also said, right, what does I can't clearly remember what he said, but what does people with no money and people with all the money have in common?
Yeah.
You know, they're both living miserable lives because you've got no barriers anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You've got no barriers.
Yeah.
And you've got struggles. With a rich man who has all the money in the world, once you hit the top, what then? You've accomplished everyone. There's no more that you. I think what makes us living is hope. Hope of tomorrow, hope of everything. When you have rich people who have no struggles anymore, which they can do what they want, they're gonna do not great things, you know?
Yeah, it comes back to that aspect of the novelty wearing off of literally everything in life. Unfortunately,
shouting out his own work.
Yeah, well, no, but it's true. It's true. And when you're rich and you have everything, then you unfortunately, also have the effects of the novelty wearing off, and you do crazy things to try and entertain yourself and try and find meaning in life again. And
yeah, I
so
think
it makes
he almost
sense.
justified it. He almost justified it by giving people free will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're giving people free will. He said, people made the choice to come here. People made a choice to play the game. I never forced them.
But he's still the enabler. He still enables everything that's happening, and he puts these like guinea pigs in a ring together.
Yeah, but they want it. They
do want it.
If some people want to do bad things, I mean, there's consequences afterwards. There's always consequences. But then they did it, you know.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, like, does it have to be in that form of death and murder, or could there be another way to help people?
Like I said, I mean, don't put yourself in them positions, you know. Don't do it. I'm sorry. I just think if you don't want bad things to happen to you, don't. Like, for example, right? If I took up smoking tomorrow, my chances of developing cancer and stuff dramatically go up, obviously. And I put myself in that position. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, these people chose to gamble. They knew gambling was bad. I mean, that bloke at the very beginning, he knew gambling was bad. He knew the bad things that could happen. He knew all these things. The guy at the very end, where he was lying in the snow, he got drunk, right? He went outside, and he put himself in that position. I mean, obviously you had the people that helped him, but I think the point he's making is, I didn't force anyone to not do it, you know. I just gave them a reward at the end, and they did it. You know, any sane person would be like, yeah, I ain't going back, because they've got so much to live for. But where these people don't necessarily have anything to live for, they specifically were chosen so they would be in the game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not justifying. Like, I know everyone had the choice to go into the games. I mean, I just think if I just think if the old man is like really trying to be morally right and good, then you can't really justify it by saying they had a choice, because you could create a different way for them to have a different route out of it, a different way out of their poverty. But
They signed the contract.
They signed the contract, so it is ultimately down to them. But Luke,
yeah. No, I just think final point. I think we just have different. I think this is what makes our podcast so like interesting, is that we have different like points and values and how we see the world.
Mm-hmm.
Not to flip it on it. I know. I'm just saying, like, you think you should help people not be in that position, where I think people are gonna put themselves in that position, like regardless of where they are. You know, these people will just go on building debt. You know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, that's where we differ, though. I agree, we do differ. I just think that it's worth trying to help, but you don't know if you don't try.
Yeah, I mean, there's always hope.
Mm,
anyway, let's round this off. Let's close this off with my beloved question, Elliot. Are you ready for it?
Oh, what question could this be?
Dope or not dope?
Yeah, this was dope. Very dope.
Yeah, this is crack. This skip dope.
Oh yeah, I mean, I binge watched this series.
Our measurements of movies is drugs. We're gonna do one. It's gonna be like, what was that like? It was like caffeine. You know, it gave me a bit of a buzz.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this does. That's what it does. Entertainment.
Right.
That's another conversation, though.
Crack. Right.
What did you think?
I know we have dope or not dope.
Was you dope or not dope? What do you think?
About what?
About the series?
Yeah, dope.
Dope.
Hell dope. I said crack.
Okay, we agree. It was a dope series, and we would highly recommend it.
So we have dope or not dope. But now, if you had to give it a score out of 10, what would you give it?
I'd give it a 9, a solid 9. To be fair, when I was going through the process of binge watching the series, like, yeah, it was the first series in a long time that's I've thoroughly enjoyed and just could not wait to watch the next episode. Like every episode left me wanting more.
Yep, I agree with you. Just like No Time to Die. I think one day we're gonna find a movie that I love and you hate, and vice versa.
I know it's gonna be cool to see. But
no, awesome.
What did you think? What did you rate it?
I like I said, a 9.
Oh, you use a 9 as well.
10.
9 as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That 9 out of 10. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a good show. I can't. Yeah, it's series 2. I'm gonna be excited for.
Yes, most definitely.
No, yeah, awesome. Yeah, Elliot, this is oh guys, this has been Eloquent Podcasts.
Indeed it has.
Yeah. It has. Yeah. Follow us on all the social medias. Yep. Cheers. See you later, Elliot.
See you guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to go check us out on social medias at Eloquent Podcasts, or you can follow our film production company at Eloquent Visions. We're going to be doing a lot more podcasts, so stick around. And thanks for watching.